everybody. Happy Well That's Good Wednesday. I hope you're having a great day, but per usual, it is about to get so much better because we have some incredible guests in the house today. Actually, some of y'all's favorite Well That's Good guests. They're back again. We have Shawn and Andrew with their new book, The Courage to Commit. And literally, this message is so needed for our generation. We actually talk about this on the podcast so often, how commitment issues today is a real thing and affecting us in such negative ways. So I'm so excited for this. We also have co-host Christian back on the podcast.
I like that tagline. Co-host Christian.
You're co-host Christian now, but Shawn and Andrew, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having us again. Oh my gosh, we love talking to you guys.
Such a joy.
Yeah, and Andrew, it's so good to see you.
I know, the bromance here.
Been so
bromance
long.
is strong.
I told Andrew ghosted me a couple months ago. He invited me on this awesome trip. I sadly couldn't come, and I just never heard back from him. So I saw his face.
He was feeling a little insecure.
I told you I was a little confused, as people might say. But seeing you in person, I've forgotten all of my past insecurities.
If it makes you feel better, he doesn't even text me back. He's the world's worst.
That does make me feel better.
Yeah.
Not a big
He also got his phone
It's messed up.
disconnected.
Yeah, my iCloud is
Apple
messed
just
up.
shut him down completely.
Shut you down.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, it really was true. Christian was like, I'm a little nervous about seeing Andrew. I just hope there's no beef.
That's not true. That's not true. He's making that up. He's making that up.
Just kidding. You kind of did though. Okay. Anyways. Our last podcast did so well because we talked about delusional confidence.
Yeah.
And people love that. So shout out to delusional confidence and where it got you guys. But today we're talking about commitment, and I think this message is so important. So first things first, tell us about writing this book because like we just talked about before, books are no joke to write. So how'd y'all decide to write a book like this?
It's no joke. It's taken us 4 years. And we were talking about, we went through a couple of pregnancies at the same time, and I feel like half the time I was writing, I would come back and be like, I don't even know what that was. Postpartum brain. But we've just seen such a rise in like anxiety and depression and people not feeling purposeful and driven and like they have a path. And I feel like there's so much noise and so many voices in the world right now, especially with social media, that people need to learn how to find what actually means something to them and stick with it.
Yep.
And we traveled the world for years trying to like better our marriage and find the best psychiatrists and therapists, and we did intensives, and we have business mentors, and like everything that we learned all kind of had this through line of the same thing of commitment. So we took all those tips and tricks and tools and put it into a book, and
It's cool.
said maybe you should try this.
That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, we live in the anxious generation, right? And I think it's this culture where there's an app for everything. It's all customized and catered to you. And there's so many options that people get overwhelmed by, oh, which option do I choose? Like, is this the best option? And so then they end up treading water and not making any choice at all.
Yeah, that's true.
As opposed to just saying, no, I'm going to choose one of these good options, cultivate it, grow it, steward it, and make it the best option. And when we looked at our life, the things that brought the most fruit, the most meaning, whether it be in our athletic careers, our relationships, our business, it was when we took that leap of faith and said, okay, I'm just gonna commit to this one thing, stick with it, and then ride it through the highs and the lows, the good and the bad, and see what it becomes.
It's good.
Yeah,
that's so cool. It actually makes me think of which is kind of crazy. I remember that means it really impacted me. But whenever I was living in Nashville, I was going to the Belonging, and Alex Seeley preached this message, and it was about commitment. And she was talking about this little Italian restaurant in Australia and how it was like the greatest place ever, but they had one thing on the menu.
Really?
So that's what you're getting. And everybody loved it. Like you went for it. And she said when she got to America, it was like the worst nightmare ever to go to the Cheesecake Factory. Because it was like too many options. And you think like, oh, you want all the options because the more the better, but then you get crippled by the options because it's like, this is too much. How am I ever going to choose one? And then you have like the fear of missing out, or like somebody else is going to be better than you. And like that is so what's happening in our day with everything. You're so right. There's like too many options, too many things that you get to the point where you like can't even choose one. I love how y'all talked about your story, and you were saying like you were so committed from such a young age to something, and it really worked to your benefit, whereas you had a struggle with commitment in some sense, and it worked in the negative.
Yeah.
But how have y'all seen in your personal lives commitment bless you and commitment hurt you. The lack of commitment hurt you.
The book is pretty much stories of how Shawn commits to things well and Andrew doesn't, and it's stories on both sides.
No, I think
realistic though.
Yeah, I think our lives like blended really, really well because like I way over indexed in the commitment side with gymnastics as a kid, and then when I left gymnastics, I didn't think it was needed in the real world. So then I like wandered aimlessly and felt completely lost in life. I feel like Andrew, you kind of always had that plan B in football and with the NFL in particular. And so you even write in the book that you felt like you had a commitment issue within the NFL. But I will say in life, I think he's way better at commitment.
Really?
Like his discipline, his regimen, his like intentionality with our family, with committing to like the things that matter. You're way better at that. And so blending those two worlds together, I think has been really, really beneficial for our life.
That's cool.
Yeah, I feel like you're like a super committal person. Like
You
with
think
your
so?
workouts and your sauna. Yeah, for sure.
Super.
And then businesses, you're flying a plane.
Well,
I feel like that takes commitment and dedication.
You got your doctorate for fun.
I think I learned through a series of mistakes. Like in business, it's like we would always kind of just like start something and then be like really lackadaisical with it. And so I don't know if you've ever started something that you had to close down, but it's a humbling process. So I would like to think that over the years I've learned how to do the commitment thing better. And that's kind of like, by the way, we wrote the book not as, hey, we're experts and here's our, step-by-step guide. It's more of an exploration of how does one find meaning and success, or the probability of success, if that's what you're like chasing, or like a deep connection in a relationship. And this was our understanding of that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Isn't it interesting? Like, I love that you said on the surface, you would be like, yeah, I committed to something for so long, but in the day-to-day things, sometimes it is easier and like, or sometimes it's like you might be that in big decisions, but it's the little things that get you. Because I feel like you're like that. Like, remember I used to make fun of you because when we were at that ice cream place, you remember? Christian used to eat. This was like a whole argument we had at TCBY in Orange Beach, Alabama.
Where are you going with this?
Well, because it was so funny. So
I miss TCBY.
I know it's so good. When we see one,
TCBY is great.
skirt, because they're not everywhere these days. The country's best yogurt. Yep. Anyways, we were in Orange Beach and we were at TCBY, and Christian loves this combination back when we first got married of mint chocolate chip and cookies and cream ice cream in a milkshake. That was like your thing. You ate that every single night at home.
Okay.
So we go to TCBY.
Every night,
and there's
Christian?
literally every night.
Oh, man.
It was a while ago.
You still do stuff like that every night.
I drink a lot of chocolate milk every night now.
But we go to TCBY. You really don't remember this?
Yes, I know where you're going with this. Yes.
Okay, so there's so many options. And he looks at me and he goes, oh, like, do you think I would like a mint chocolate chip and cookies and cream milkshake? I was like, you drink that every night? Like, yes. He's like, but do you think it would be good here?
Well, it's called the country's best yogurt.
It's the same thing as like what you get at home. It's just a different brand. And he could not.
There's a huge argument.
Yeah,
So
because then I said, I think you have.
Conversing.
No, because I was like, I think
you would apologize.
I think you have a hard time making decisions. It went to a bigger, deeper root. Okay,
Wow.
It started with the ice cream, but it got bigger.
I was like, oh, sorry for just cluing you in on where my thoughts are at right now, and just actually genuinely wanting your opinion off you think.
Sadie's over here like there's something.
But
Yeah, and I was like, no, but
deeper.
I was like, I think that the root thing here is hard for you to make a decision because you would always look at like what I got, whatever, and like wish you're like, what if yours is better? You did that. Don't even. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
I wanted a chocolate milkshake.
We talked
And
about
I was
this.
like, do you think?
We had a whole.
I was
thing
like,
on
do you
this.
think I would like this from here? And then it was like, what do you mean? You eat it every night. What do you mean?
But did we not have a full conversation
yes.
about commitment and decision?
Yes.
I was like, you have to make a decision. You have to be confident in your decision.
And we have been better since that
So
moment.
much better.
I love that. I love that idea. And it's a fun,
Yeah.
it's a funny small example of what I think happens at a bigger scale.
Exactly.
Like in life, where if you're in an ice cream store, you're probably going to walk out with some ice cream. But I think what a lot of people do
Maybe
is
not.
they don't mess up because they make the wrong decision. They mess up because they're like,
They don't make any.
Yeah, they don't make any decision.
Yeah.
And it's like, because if you're not in an ice cream store and it's more of an intangible decision, like, hey, who should I go on a date with, or who should I consider to
Exactly.
pursue, or even like a church.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I got all these options and let me just not choose any. Let me just wait and hopefully I'll find the best one sometime. It's like, no, you choose the one thing.
Yes.
And then you'll see the fruits of it. Like,
Yes.
and it's up to you.
try to make it the best one. We talked through like a long process from start to finish of you choose something. And as soon as you choose it, you need to drown out every other option.
Yeah.
You need to try to make that the absolute best choice, because we've also seen, and we can go down like the faith route of that too, but people who get into a marriage and they constantly in the back of their head will say, well, maybe it's not the right person. And the issue is not then the marriage. It's the fact that you're giving yourself an option to get out.
Yep.
And the commitment side of this is like radically saying, this is my only choice. Now I need to take this choice, be confident in it, and do everything in my power to protect it and make it the best. And that's where I think the world is preaching to people. If you're not happy today, it must be that you chose something wrong. And that's so false.
Yeah, that's so true. And putting happiness as like the highest value of like, well, I need to be happy, so I'm going to get out of this and eliminate the thing that's making me not happy and go somewhere else. But you're not going to like find that in something else. It is a lot of times a mindset. I'm such a blanket person. Once the kids are down, the house is quiet. Ooh, I love a cozy blanket, and Lola blankets are truly next level. I actually ordered the ivory antique one, and I am so excited. It literally comes in today. I cannot wait. There is nothing like a fresh, cozy blanket that just is, you see that thing on the couch, and you have to get on the couch and get under it. I'm so stoked. Lola is called the world's #1 blanket for a reason. They're made with ultra soft luxury faux fur and their signature 4-way stretch, so they feel so cozy but still add the extra pop to your home. Plus they're machine washable, so when I say praise the Lord, double hem for durability and made to stay flawless. No pilling or shedding even after you wash it a bunch, which is such a win. Lola also has over 20,000 5-star reviews, and once you feel one, it makes total sense. Lola blankets also make the sweetest gifts because it's so personal, beautiful, and something people will actually use every single day. For a limited time, our listeners can get 40% off select Lola Blankets products with code WOA at checkout. Just head to lolablankets.com, use the code WOA to get 40% off your order. That's Lola, Lola, blankets.com. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them, and please tell them about this show that we sent you there. Wrap yourself in luxury with Lola Blankets.
We argue too a lot of like the depth. People aren't finding depth and meaning and like actual the true joy that comes through overcoming hardship and monotony and the mundane and the boring middle, because they're not getting there. They live in the honeymoon phase, and once that's over, they're like, oh, I need to go find it again.
Yep. No, that's so true. Okay, can we talk about dating? Because I think that this lack of commitment is majorly affecting the dating world these days. Before we do that, though, I didn't remember y'all's meeting story until I was refreshing for this. And so tell how y'all met.
Well, and I really want to hear the second date B honey story.
Oh, God.
You can handle both.
Yeah, talk about how y'all met, how y'all got together, and then we'll jump into commitment in the dating world.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. I met Andrew's oldest brother at the London Olympics. I was there working. I got assigned to cover a cycling event. And then at the cycling event, I was assigned this guy. His name is Guy East from the USA cycling team to explain to me what was going on. And so we had a long conversation, and we were like hanging out during the day during the event. And at the end of the day, he was like, if you take anything away from our conversations, it's that I think you should meet my younger brother. And I was like, what?
Shout out, big bro.
What?
Big bro, make it
That is
happen.
a bro.
So fast forward, we went on like our first, I would call it almost like a blind date, because like we really hadn't talked in LA while I was on Dancing with the Stars. And
That's awesome.
in my brain, I'm just too type A. It didn't make sense how it would work. He was living in Nashville at the time, going to Vanderbilt University. I was on this show. I thought you were adorable, but I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. And then fast forward 9 months later, I ghosted him for 9 months. The ghosting and the texting world is just part of our thing.
Yeah.
And 9 months later, he kind of sent me his like last hurrah text of, this is my last try at this. It was very sweet.
I poured my heart into this poem.
You did.
Yeah.
it was very
like-
sweet.
It was a poem?
I gave.
It was a
Oh
poem.
yeah, dude.
Really?
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Like a rhyming
That's
poem?
impressive.
Oh yeah, like Romeo and
Or
Juliet.
ChatGPT.
Just simple AABB
Before.
structure.
Was it
Not
OG?
doing anything
Nice.
crazy.
Was.
No haiku. This is
And it was so cheesy and so just unlike anything. It was like if football has taught me anything, it's how to persevere. And would you accompany me to the? It was so cheesy, but I was like, wow. So I
It
said,
worked.
it worked.
It worked.
Oh my gosh. So I said yes. I flew out to Nashville. And I think within 24 hours, I remember texting my mom and saying, I think this is the guy I'm going to marry.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then the
That's
second,
so good.
the B story from that date.
So then, I guess it was our third date.
Yeah.
I took her to our lake house and
To meet the whole family. I was like,
Let's go.
and so we had bees was a big thing in our family, still is. I'm like a 4th generation beekeeper. Our kids are into it now too, so it's so fun to watch them. But I was like, all right, Shawn, you got to learn how to ride a tandem bike, because we used to do that all the time, shoot a bow and arrow, and do the bees. Yeah. And so I took her to the hives. We didn't have a bee suit that fit her because she's so petite. So we kind of just went in there with no suit.
That makes
and
sense.
She got stung. But then she hung around. I was like,
but
she
you know,
can make
like
the cut.
on your first dates, when you're like, what's your favorite color?
Yeah.
It's like, what's your biggest fear? I was like, bees.
Jeez.
And we hadn't even talked about it. And then the next date, you take me to extract honey, and I get stung. And I was like, oh
It's
my
not for the faint of heart, babe.
Gosh.
Not for
And
the
then
faint
he
of
taught
heart
me how to
join
shoot a
the
bow
family.
on the third date as well. And I evidently did that wrong. So my whole arm turned black and blue.
We took a family bike ride, and she was
Almost
like,
died.
she thought it was going to be a cute little 1 mile.
She
like,
shot like a
oh yeah,
vertical bow.
yeah.
And it hits the string
Over and over and over again.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
That's because it wasn't suited to your arm length or anything.
Yeah. Maybe the
Details,
bees
dude.
weren't either.
Details.
So many, so many things that are wrong with that.
And then the tandem bike. So the tandem bike was still the same date. Like it's the same day. We've done the bees.
Never-ending
We've done the, and he's like, "How about it?" You said it so casually. Like, "How about we go for a bike ride?" And in my head, I'm like, "Oh, get a break from all
Finally.
this chaos.
Romantic.
Like this is gonna be so sweet. We're on the lake. 20-some miles later, with the whole family on
I think Shawn was
tandem
crying.
bike.
She was like, "How much
I was-
longer?"
20 miles on a tandem bike?
I was gonna die. I was like,
man.
I don't know.
Is that what
how I'm
Olympic
still here.
cycling? Is that what families do that have?
Dude, I got these ham hocks of legs because my
Your
dad
legs.
put us in cycling competitions when I was 10.
Your
He
legs
was like,
are insane.
Dude,
You're insane.
it's because we've been just doing it for a long
Also,
time.
your mom is a champ.
Yeah.
The fact that your mom just does all this, and I kept looking at her like, "What are we doing?" She's like,
Do you have
"Honey."
sisters or is it just boys?
One sister who just got engaged.
Oh, that's awesome.
Shout out Christine and Tyler.
Oh, congrats. So she just does it with y'all too? She's the
Yeah,
20-mile
she gets some
biker?
special treatment because she's the only girl in the
For sure.
family, but the rest of the
For
boys,
sure.
it's like you
That-
gotta.
But then any woman that marries into the family, to the 4 boys, it's kind of like a, can you keep up?
Can you get stung by a
Can you
bee?
hang?
Still have a good
Yeah.
attitude. Bruise your arm and go in
man.
20 miles, then you're in. Okay, that's commitment though. I mean, that's no joke. Okay, so I think one of the problems, kind of what we talked about, is that there are so many options. I think dating apps give you a million options, and you're swiping and you're this, and so people have like a fear of committing to relationships because they're always thinking like something might be better. What if something else opens up? Speak a little bit to that problem and what y'all are seeing in that.
I mean, just think of how the dating apps are built. It's like swipe, swipe, swipe. You're like going through tons of options.
And you're judging a book by its cover
Yeah.
immediately in a split
Yeah.
second.
And I think that conditions you to say, okay, hey, this one's a little annoying, or we did 2 dates and I don't know if we vibe. Let me just go to the next one, swipe
Yeah.
to the next one, and it's I think you're missing out on so much.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of excitement in the variety of choices. Oh, she was really funny. We had great conversations. She's like intellectually interesting. But it's like there's also so much excitement in the depth. Like I know Shawn and I have been together now 13 years, and it's so fun, and also a little scary. Where you're like, I can't believe I there's new parts of you that I'm seeing, and how do we navigate this? So it's like I think moving past that surface level inch deep but mile wide and into the hey, we're going a mile deep. It's like, oh man, that is exciting and meaningful.
We've done a whole podcast on like the one theory, and which I still believe is, my personal belief is that it's false, because I feel like in the swipe right culture, people think that if they just keep swiping, they'll find the perfect one. And it's just one more swipe away,
Yeah.
or 5 or 10 or 10 more minutes or 10 more days.
Yeah.
And I think if we unromanticize that a little bit and have a conversation of, even in, as we're getting ready to get engaged back in the day, we naturally both had so many thoughts of, is this the right person?
Yeah.
You did?
You thought I was too short, okay? And you naturally have all those thoughts, but at some point you have to say, this is a good enough person for me to actively try for.
Yep. Yep.
And if you just keep trying, you make it the best possible person in the world. And I cannot imagine having chosen any other person in the world. You are now the absolute perfect person. But like when we first start dating, there's so many things that you're like morphing and changing and evolving into.
Yep. I agree with that.
That's good. This goes back. I think Christian and I kind of live in this like self-improvement bro biohack kind of world. I feel like you're an icon in it.
You're an icon in it.
And it's like I think it's like the self-improvement, you know? And I just look at marriage and how much we have influenced each other and kind of molded each other to become who we are today. I think in a parallel universe, Andrew would be like floating down a river with no job, playing guitar just for fun, you know, like Huckleberry Finn style. But like what I've realized, and it took me way too long to realize this, is try as I might, I cannot change Shawn. We've made this commitment to our marriage that is not going to change. So the only thing left to change is me. And like, that's a really exciting place to be. And you want to talk self-improvement. You wake up every day, you're like, okay, we're having this argument about ice cream for the 200th time. And I'm trying to force my perspective on Sadie or Shawn, and like, she's not changing. So then I need to tweak something about how I'm going about this conversation. And then you're like off to the races, and there's something really exciting about having the agency to do that, you know?
That's good. I love that. That's so good. I'm so interested in like your 9 months of being ghosted and then sending the poem, because that, again, like, that's fighting for something, committing to something, even whenever she's not showing you that like she's interested. How do you encourage people like when to know it's worth committing to and fighting for, and then when is it time to go, okay, it's not working, you know?
Dating advice from Andrew, this is scary ground. I would say, okay, so it wasn't like it was not a complete ghost. So I would send, you know, a handful of text messages, maybe like 4 or 5, and then she would respond to one, and I'd be like, game on, baby, clock reset. Like we're still in the game.
Would there be a conversation from there, or would it just be like a one text?
One off, dude. I mean, maybe the occasional
but
conversation.
This is before you could like a message or heart a message.
Yeah.
Just in the
Yeah.
Or even see that it was like red.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of context that's important, and I don't think the door is ever like completely closed. I wasn't trying to force something that wasn't there. It was more like, hey, this is just an exploration. We're not together, and so I'm not top of mind, which I'm fine with. I also, admittedly, maybe we both were, you know, entertaining different options just to like see if
we weren't dating.
No, we weren't dating.
Yeah,
but like,
fair.
and it was just kind of like, okay, does this spark something like Shawn and I had in a similar way? And it was always no. And so I just kept thinking about our interactions and how I really felt like Shawn and I like could make it go to the distance, because the smile that she does to me, I love that smile. And I was like, dang, let me just keep going. And then if she ever says no, I'm not interested, then you like have to respect that. But I'm gonna give it my best. And then so I wrote several poems.
Yep.
That was the one. And then you finally responded. And then it was like pretty much when we started dating, we both had made it past the chameleon phase, as I call it, where I don't know if you guys did this dating where you like morph into who you think the other person wants you to be. And I think that's really what helped us get to the point where we were mature enough to date, where it's like, hey, we're just going to be who we are. And if this works and we can take it the distance, then great. Like, praise God. But
I even remember having that conversation on like that date that we went on in Nashville, which was our second date. I remember I got in the car from the airport when he picked me up, and I don't think we said anything. It was like, hi. And then we just like rode in silence, and it was so peaceful. And I remember having a conversation that day of like, we've flown, both of us, across the country for each other. This is our second time ever being together. I'm just going to be me. You're just going to be you. If this works, this is beautiful. But like, there's nothing to lose here.
That's awesome.
And it was so freeing.
That's awesome. One thing that I've learned is that consistent love really changes people's lives. Not just big dramatic moments, but steady support and people who keep showing up over and over again. And that's why I'm so thankful for the work that Love One International is doing in Uganda. They're helping provide life-saving nutrition and medical care for children facing severe malnutrition. And for so many of these kids, that care is literally the difference between life and death. What I love most is that they stay with these families through the full journey of recovery. So they walk with kids from diagnosis all the way back to health. And that is the kind of care that takes commitment. That's why I love the Love Club, and that's what it's all about. So for just $20 a month, you can help support the ongoing medical and nutritional care these children need every single day. And right now, when you join the Love Club, you'll also receive an exclusive Love Club hat, which I have right here, and one of the last few free copies of my devotional book, How to Put Love First. This is one of those missions that really stays with you because the lives being changed are so real. Y'all, I love what Love One does so much. First of all, I love the family behind it. They're just the most amazing people with the most genuine hearts. And then also, I've seen kids with malnutrition in other countries, and it is the most devastating thing. And knowing that you can literally give $20 and save kids' lives, it's just an absolute no-brainer. So please be a part of this. You're not just signing up for something, you're helping save lives month after month. Join the Love Club today and become the heartbeat of the Love One mission. Visit loveoneinternational.org/woe. Again, that's loveoneinternational.org/woe.
That's why we usually say date someone for like 6 months because of the chameleon.
Yeah.
Because you can for a period of time you can
Be who they want you to be.
Yeah. But at some point, things might hit the fan, and then you actually see that you're just kind of putting on a facade and that element.
Yeah, that's so good. That's such a good point too, because I remember like riding in the car with you at times, and it's like you're not saying anything, and that's such a peaceful feeling, knowing that you can like sit with someone and you don't have to say anything or fill the space. I think that's when you know like this is a good thing.
Yeah, because there can be awkward silences, or there can be just peaceful silences, and I think like whatever that feeling is a big like, tell in some ways.
You're just totally comfortable being where you're at. I love that.
You say that y'all have the last 4 years you've been working on the book.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's because I feel like we wrote a book a couple years ago called How to Put Love First, but it writing a book, I feel like it does keep you accountable. So do you feel like the last 4 years, the idea of always thinking about being committed to something and committal like that helped keep you accountable?
You kind of talk about like
where
the
it was
public
like
commitment.
To where it's like you're like, crap, I'm writing a book, I'm being committed, and I'm feeling like I want to get out of this thing, but I'm going to stick with it.
I mean, yes, I feel like ever since we started writing the book, we've been seeing anything that relates to commitment just in the universe pretty much. But I personally remember it the most when we signed up to do this crazy show.
I was just about to ask you about that.
Gosh. And I remember thinking, because we filmed it last summer and it came out this past fall. And I remember thinking, we're about to launch a book called The Courage to Commit. And each day I was like, I just want to quit.
Wow.
But I can't do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yes, I mean, especially like writing about each aspect of our lives, it's just been a good like audit for us to say like, how are we doing in these areas? And we have a lot of places to improve, but
it's also fun to, I don't know how you guys have felt when you wrote the book. You like kind of see the world through that lens of what you're writing from. So there's like, I have read books or see movies or articles, and it's like I'm keeping this constant list of, oh my gosh, that plugs in perfectly. By the way, you just made me think of a story, if you don't mind me sharing about. It's a Jesus story.
Please share.
Well, it's like talk about a guy who could commit. Like that guy, he was pretty committed to the mission. Yes.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so but I heard this. I heard this story.
I thought you were talking about another guy.
No, this was crazy because like I'm just gonna speak purely from the historical standpoint of Jesus. Like who was he in the timeline of history? Because I heard this story about this guy. I think I'm gonna butcher his name. Sabbatai Zephi. Have you heard this name? So this was like medieval ages, maybe 1400, 1500s. Like the Jewish people literally thought he was the Messiah. This guy was like, he was so impressive, such an interesting prophet, like would kind of do the things that people thought a Messiah would do. And then when it came down to it, like he gets called into this, the emperor's room, like of the, what's the people group in the Middle East?
This is your story. You got a lot.
Yeah, no, not the Romans. It was a little Turkish, like this Turkish emperor brings him in. He's like, okay, it's kind of like time to put your feet to the fire. How committed to this bit of the Messiah are you? And he says, if you die and come back to life, then I'll convert and you'll be my Messiah. If not, then if you're not going to do this, then I'm going to put you to death. And he was like, well, can I just turn around and walk away from this altogether and like just admit that I'm not what I'm saying I am. And so that's what he ended up doing, because he's like, I'm not going to die for this cause. And it just made me think of Jesus. Like,
Wow.
that dude, it was a really interesting contrast of just like literally historically, the guy died for what he was convicted. Like, he died for what he said he was going to do. And I think there's something interesting there to like learn from, as far as seeing it all the way through. So
that's the story in Acts too. Yeah, when the Pharisees are looking at the disciples.
It's one of my favorite stories.
And the guy's like, you know, if you, what's the story? If you find yourself opposing them.
Yeah, basically he's saying, you know, y'all don't worry about this Jesus movement, because many people have said they're the Messiah, and then they die off, and then the movement dies. And he says, but if this is the Messiah, then he says, then you won't be able to stop it, and you'll actually find yourself fighting against God. And it's so cool when you think about that, because they were talking about these other movements of people like that, and they would die off, and, you know, they'd have 1,000 or so followers, and the movement would die. Yet Jesus had these 12 disciples. Then it was, you know, the 2,000 in Acts, and there were thousands more and thousands more. And now here, there's like, 2 billion Christians in the world. And you just think about that, like, historically, like, okay, it must be God. Like, that's the only, why would we still be talking about this? You know, why would we still be changed by it? Still be, because, like you said, seeing it through. And that's like Jesus on the cross, like, why are you forsaking me, Lord? But then carrying it through. And even like, I just don't think his prayer, like, if this can pass, let it pass. But God was like, no, this is my will.
100%. And I don't know if these other people who were Messiah-like figures died. No one else did it like Jesus, you know? And to me, just from a sequence of events, historical standpoint, I'm like, wow, that's pretty convincing. Yeah. You know?
It's so true, though. Like, I love that you put, like, the courage to commit, because it is, like, a courageous thing. Like, Jesus in the garden, praying, sweating, like, crying, like, blood's coming out of him. He's, like, so stressed, like, so anxious. Like, can I please not do this if there's any other way? And then he says, yet, if it's your will, then let it be done. And he always kept that willingness to commit. He's like, if this is it, I'll do it. But if there's another way, let me do it any other way. And then obviously, you know, that's the way that the Lord had, which is, you know, at the time, it's like, why did it have to be that way? And then you see why, because like we still have eternal life because of it. But I think about even the courage. I mean, I don't know. This is obviously not compared to the courage of the cross, but thinking about the show y'all did, because people say to me, they're like, Sadie, you should do Special Forces. And I'm like, what? Like, are you crazy? Like, I might would do it if y'all gave me a true pep talk, but it so was incredible.
If you do it, we were doing it together.
Yeah, we have to do it together. We have because
and this is what I remember
the first time someone brought it up to me. They're like, "You should do it,
dude."
You should.
And I was like, "That would be me signing myself out to be literally terrified for however long the show films." And I hate feeling that scared. Like, why do I want to do that to myself? Other than, you know, the satisfaction of overcoming. But how did y'all have the courage to say yes? I feel like summertime just has its own vibe. More time outside, slower evenings, fun trips, pool days, and I've been trying to simplify my routine with products that feel really good on my skin. I've been using Primally Pure's SPF collection, and I love it because it feels more like skincare than traditional sunscreen. Their formulas are made with really nourishing ingredients like tallow, mango butter, and non-nano zinc, so my skin feels hydrated and glowy instead of greasy and chalky. We love the difference. Their sun cream has become my go-to because it's lightweight and blends in so well, and the sun stick has been amazing on the go, especially for kids. It's just so much easier to throw in your bag and put it on their little faces really quickly. I also love that Primally Pure is female-founded and really intentional about using simple, high-quality ingredients. Their SPF collection has just 9 non-toxic ingredients and is free from synthetic fragrances and harmful chemicals, which makes me feel really good about using it daily on myself and on my kids. This is just so great because if you've ever gone down the rabbit hole of clean sunscreen, it can just be stressful. You're like, I know the sun is damaging, but is sunscreen damaging? I don't even know. But it's so nice to know that this is like all these clean ingredients. You're putting tallow on your face. You're putting mango. Like, this is so good for you, and it's protecting you from the sun. Especially, I have little blondies, and so I gotta get their heads really good, and this is great for that. So use the code WOA to get 15% off your Primally Pure purchase at primallypure.com. That's Primally Pure, PRIMALLYPURE.com. Use the code WOA at checkout for 15% off your order.
I would say that's exactly why I did it. I hate the feeling of fear. Like, I hate it so much. And ever since becoming a parent, I find myself sometimes like going into a black hole of fear. And so prayer and faith and like God has really helped that when you have to like release that. And I feel like I've gotten really good at controlling fear. But there's always been in the back of my head this idea of like, but what if I was faced with like my biggest fear? And what will come out? And we've always talked about like, we try to exploit our weaknesses to see like what they are so we can get better at them. And so when I did the show, I wanted to see if I could control fear.
Wow.
And see if it was an active choice. And I was really, it empowered me because there were so many fears that I did face that completely unfazed me. And I thought it was a very empowering experience. And the guys who coach you through it, the Navy SEALs and the Special Forces guys, they find your weaknesses so quickly and they know individually what they are. And like to hear them and rely on them as mentors and like to be coached through it and to find strength through different things. I thought it was like the coolest experience. I didn't love the last day. The last day like sucks. But it was this test of like how well can you control your mind. Wow. And as a parent, I left with a lot more confidence than I went in with. So I think you should do it.
That's inspiring. I do love the aspect of being coached through things, and I appreciate that they're there to help like shape you. It's like the gas mask things, like those things. I'm just like, holy cow, I would feel so afraid. But that's okay. Yeah. You got to overcome. This is good.
Yeah. I think about like, I don't know if you guys are like me, but I feel like I get fearful or scared when I don't feel like I'm ready for something or cut out for something.
Yes, totally.
And I feel like what I learned in that show and in other areas of life is you don't feel ready before you jump into something. Like you jump into something and then that kind of makes you ready. Like, wow. And obviously, don't be reckless with that. Yeah. But there's an aspect of trust that goes with it. And I think about the Marines who were our coaches in that situation. And like when they walk into the recruiter's office, they sign the paperwork, and on that day they become a Marine. It's like, sweet, okay, you get to wear the uniform.
But they haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, but there's a gap between who they are now and what it takes to be a Marine. To have a heart of Marine and have the preparation of a Marine. And so then it's like this process of, okay, you jumped in, and now it's the refinement, sanctification process of becoming that fully. And it's kind of an exciting thing to say, okay, we're not ready at the beginning, but hopefully at the end of this show or at the end of this career, I'll have learned something and progressed and grown in a different way. And that was definitely our experience.
I will say too, just like knowing you guys, you should do the show, because I also think it's not like a faith-based show. Obviously, it's like a heavy hitter Fox show where like it's anybody. But I do think if you have a very strong faith, it is very obvious that it is such a leg up.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Because to see people so crippled by just material things on that show that don't have something bigger to give their control to and lean on was very obvious. And for us, I just remember we would like say the Lord's Prayer before we tucked into our little bunks at night, and we'd wake up and be like, thank you, God, for this beautiful day. And we'd be out there talking about the sunrise, and they're like, are you crazy? I'm like, it's a beautiful day. Like, this is wonderful.
That's
like, there's nothing that can, this is a show, there's nothing that can shake us. And
that's cool.
In my brain going, being tortured underwater, I'm like singing,
I do
Jesus,
think
it's like,
I would totally be doing that.
You would
That's
for sure
cool.
do better than Christian, though.
Do it. She
would do better at things.
You would do better than me.
Women tend to do
It's a
better on the show.
psychological.
I think mentally, I would maybe do better, but physically, I would struggle. And I mean, this is not, you know.
I think I would be strong mentally.
I'm not saying you would be strong, but like, I feel
That actually
like.
leads me into my next question. But.
Okay, I'll stop there.
That was.
You would, I would be toast. I'm even scared just like running a mile with the backpack. I can't even run a mile without the backpack.
We had people peeing their pants out there mid-challenge. It was like, it was
my
total
gosh.
carnage. Like,
I will say men do better on that show physically.
Yeah.
I mean, because everybody has to carry the same weight and it's all equal. But I will say there is a harder aspect, historically speaking, on that show for men to be submissive to like the powers. And
I've actually noticed that when we've watched, we've talked about that.
The thing I would struggle with would be, I just think I would like laugh or smile if I was just getting like cussed out.
I thought so too, bro. But
did it.
I thought so too. But then they're like actually yelling
it's
at you,
actually
and I'm
real.
like, oh my
and
gosh.
then it becomes like
There's no like you don't feel like the impulse to like smirk or
you do, and then it very quickly you do it once, and you're like, I'm not gonna do that again.
Never gonna do that again.
I would just feel like
It's like them putting the bag over your head and taking you to interrogate you. Like, oh,
No, it's
I feel if I had a bag and then I took it
intense.
off and someone's like you bleeping below, I just feel like I'd be like
dude, I
do
thought
it
it was all a
once.
joke. I thought it was all a joke, and I thought I was gonna have to like play serious, and then they actually are yelling at you and spitting in your face, and it took me right back to like sports where. I don't know how you were with the coaches, but I would always snap, like I'm snapping into attention. I'm listening. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
It also comes across very much like a show.
yeah.
But it's not in the sense of it is a full start to finish experience with no break that happens to be filmed.
Because you're not doing interviews during the day.
No, it's like the second it starts, you are in the military.
Oof.
yeah.
And there's no off time. There's no cut and wait for sound. Like,
Wow.
You're just
10
in
days.
It depends on the season, but ours was 10.
Wow.
You have to do it.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm inspired. I have a question on the coaching aspect. So right now, we're just seeing this with our kids. Like Honey has started gymnastics. She loves gymnastics, and she's really good at
yesterday she was
it. I know.
she-
I'm proud.
yesterday she was the example cartwheel for the class.
And she was so cute. She was like, they said, Honey, we need you for a second. Like, she loved that they called on her, and like they used her as the example for the new kids because she's very technical and very good. She's also tiny. Like, she's very built for it. But one thing I say to her is like, you have to have a strong mind because I see her God-given ability in her body, but mentally, I mean, she's only 5, but I just see so much, I mean, even like already complaining, like I'm tired or this or that or fear. Looking back, like, or even how are you doing for your kids? Like from 2 athletes, you're parenting kids who I'm sure, have those abilities. Like, how do you teach them to have a strong mind? Like what's your encouragement to them, encourage and the commitment? Because you said you like overcommitted to gymnastics. Where's that line of like, I want to push you to be your best, but I don't want to push you too hard. That's not fun. What's up, fam? Okay, I am so thrilled that Low Sister Conference is right around the corner. It is in Monroe, Louisiana, September 11th and 12th, and it is going to be amazing. We have the most incredible lineup, but we want you in the room, okay? So go to liveoriginal.com, use the code WOE10 for $10 off your ticket, and I have a surprise for y'all. When the room is sold out, I have a gift I'm giving every single ticket buyer, and I can't wait to give it to you guys. So go ahead and get your ticket now, liveoriginal.com, use the code WOE10 for $10 off, and I can't wait to see you in Monroe, September 11th and 12th.
We actually just interviewed my parents on this of like, what was your strategy growing up or when I was growing up? And my parents' strategy that I feel like was very similar to your parents and we're doing for our kids is with absolutely no activity, you are 100% perfect, valued, loved as you are. Like, you don't need to go earn anything. And we have started just this idea of showing them everything. And then when they lock into something, we are their biggest cheerleaders. But I would say with our kids, we've started to notice things that they're like locking in on that they love and that they've found a passion for. And we're not in the pushing you to be your best yet. I think I think one of the greatest things kids can find in their life are great coaches. But I think letting coaches be coaches and parents be parents is very, very important.
That's good.
But I don't know. We've dealt with it in some capacity with like our 4-year-old will sign up for T-ball because he's so excited, but then he's like, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
But then I want to go the next week. But then I don't want to go the week after that. And it's like, how do you paint that line?
Yeah. I would say different phases for different ages,
good.
for sure.
Yeah.
A couple paradoxes that we had to grapple with in writing a book about commitment is, one, there is a time to, not everything's worth committing to. There is a time to uncommit from something. It's important to have grace with yourself along the way because you will make mistakes in whatever path you're walking down. But then another one that we've talked about in regards to youth sports is like, you can't commit for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't say my kid's going to be an Olympic gymnast. That's just not how it works. So it's been a fun process and filter to kind of like see our kids, what are they interested in? Our 4-year-old loves motocross. So like he'll wake up and he just,
The head shake.
He
He's
like,
the one with the stitches.
yeah, currently.
A lot of stitches.
A lot of stitches.
But it's like, he's into that, but there's different like exposure levels for a 4-year-old. We're not gonna, hey, we're gonna ride our motorcycle for an hour a day for practice. It's like, that's not age appropriate.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like slowly introducing him, titrating like the ideas of commitment along the way as they age.
I will say, as like strictly speaking from a coaching perspective, like having seen thousands of girls and their parents over the years in gymnastics in particular, this is the only like data research I have from hands-on, is every time I saw a parent try to convince their child of just go one more time, just go back, try a little harder, do a little better, it never worked out in the long run, ever. And I have seen God-given, talented athletes come into the gym who don't love it.
Yeah.
And they go on to do something else that they find a greater passion in, that they become successful in because they loved it so much and they worked hard enough and stuck with it. And I have seen so many kids in gymnastics who are not God gifted, just like in the talent capacity, but they love it so much that they outlast anybody who has that ability.
Yeah.
And so I think from the parenting perspective, it's so hard when it's your own children, because we've seen it as well, where I'm like, you have such potential, but it's also not my job to coach
advice.
that.
Yeah.
And to force it,
It's great advice. It's so good. I love that because, I mean, whenever Honey did T-ball, did not like it. Hated it. I mean, literally she's out there playing in the dirt, the whole thing. And we're like, okay, we're going to finish the season. We're not going to play next year, you know? But then there's this thing with gymnastics where she loves it and she's good at it. But it's the same with probably your little boy who's like, 1 week she wants to go, 1 week she doesn't want to go. And it's like, well, we need to, we committed to it. If we're in town, we're going to go. If we're not in town, we don't have to go. That kind of thing. But like sticking with something, because I think also like sports taught me, one of the things my parents always said was like, you can quit a sport after season. Like you're not going to quit on your team mid-season. Which
hard with gymnastics.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, that is true. We don't know the gymnastics world yet. I mean, we're so new to it, But for me, like growing up, it was like basketball, track, tennis, where it's like, let's finish the season and then you don't have to go back the next year. And I do think like I've seen just adults like who have that life lesson of like committing to a team. It's very helpful in adulthood when you have jobs and you have people, because there are people who don't understand the effects of quitting and what it does to other people. And you see people just go, like, I'm out, and they just leave. And it's like, oh, you just put everybody in a really hard position. Not that you can't leave. Of course, everybody has to have the grace and the freedom to leave things, but you can leave things well. And I think that you learn that a lot. You can learn that in sports, and parenting does matter.
We've been leaning on this idea with our kids at the moment. I think, again, age is really important. Also in gymnastics, there is no season, so quitting is very hard. There's no, there's never a good time to quit because you're always a part of a team, but it's still solo and there's no off season. So you never know. But the thing that we're leaning on with our kids is, I don't even know where this came from, but it came out of my mouth at one point and we've just owned it, is God has hidden treasures in your heart. One of my treasures was gymnastics. And I said, it's the adventure of life to now go try to find them. But if you find them, you have to protect them. That's not my job. It's yours.
It's good.
And so with, say, Drew has a love of rock climbing, our 6-year-old girl. And she'll come home one day and she'll be complaining of like, oh, I don't want to go next week. And in my head, I'm like, you've told me this is a treasure. I'm not going to say you can't go, and I won't say that out loud, but I'll be like, okay, why? Like, what is the reason? And actually trying to get to the root of, is this no longer a treasure? Because you told me it was. But trying to put it 100% on the kid and saying, it's not my job to tell you to go, but you have to decide if this treasure is worth protecting or not.
Yeah.
And so we've tried to, it's so hard
It's so
as a
hard.
parent.
And there's so little.
You also want to be like, you can't quit.
Yeah.
Can't be a quitter.
It's hard. Well, I think like yesterday was a really cool moment for Honey doing that cartwheel example because they are so little. So this is just fun. I mean, she's literally in like beginner tumbling fun. And she's just done it because it's been fun. All of her friends are doing it. I signed her up for the summer because Haven finally hit the age of 3 where she can join. And she's been dying all year to join Honey. And she could do it as of June 1st. So we're like, okay, perfect. Y'all can do it together. Honey, you can have Haven. And it was like a new joy for Honey. Like, all of a sudden it was exciting as she ran in holding Haven's hand and then she got to do the example. And it was a cool learning lesson of like, Honey, you've worked so hard for so long and look at it paying off. You got to teach your sister today. You got to show everybody your cartwheel. And like, you don't get that many moments at that age to like show what hard work is paying off. It's like, look what you've learned throughout, you know, a year of having fun. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just hard. And I don't know that, I think we probably put more weight on it than even we should because I was not the athlete to y'all's level, but just growing up an athlete, it shaped me so much. I'm so grateful for it. And I'm like, oh, I want to help in my kids, but then not over, you know, step.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just more so that idea of, I think like we talked about with commitment the whole time, it's like, I think in life you can be so flippant with things. It's like, you can date who you want to date, but then you can get out of it. You can start this thing, but you don't have to finish it. And I do think there is something about like, and granted, our kids are 3 and 5, so it's like there is a fine line to it, but there is something that I do think you learn at a young age of how your choices do affect other people. And gymnastics might be a little different, but there are consequences for decisions that you choose to make on the commitment side of things to where like you just talked about, if you are flippant with things, you don't realize how your decisions do impact other people. And I think that trying to instill that in kids from a young age by not being very overbearing, I do think it's super important.
I think y'all said this in maybe one of your interviews, or maybe it's written blankly in the book, but how like commitment is something so many people fear, but commitment like unlocks like the greatest blessing and the freedom. And it's so cool that y'all wrote on this. So important. I know it was 4 years, but 4 years of commitment worth it. This book is available everywhere books are sold, I'm sure. And it's out now that you're listening to this podcast. So everybody go look up The Courage to Commit. Is it on audio too?
Yeah.
Okay, and audio. Did y'all read it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm an audio listener, and when the author reads it, it's the best. You're like, oh gosh.
It was crazy.
It was so painful.
It's hard.
But you mess up like a single word.
A single word.
And your brain can read all the words, but your mouth can't.
Exactly.
The enunciation of it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, go get it anywhere books are sold. Thank y'all so much for coming to West Monroe.
See you guys.
Thank you.
So fun.